When it comes to exercising, I did a lot of things right actually, but I also did many incorrect things along the way. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. My name is Milan. I share my lessons here on YouTube. And today, what we're going to be discussing, as I said, is the biggest mistake that I actually made during my fitness journey. And without further ado, let's begin. And by the way, the majority of this video is going to be uncensored as fuck because I don't have time to edit these videos that 10 people watch on average right now. So the majority of this video is going to be raw. What I wanted to say, and because I don't want to waste your time with this video, is I actually tried bulking and cutting many times along the way. How should you actually structure your diet and how should you actually structure your training when it comes to that? That's a whole separate story. But what I do want to say in this video is that you should bulk when you're first starting out your fitness journey. Why? Well, the majority of people have this perception about going to a gym like, yeah, I want to have six-pack abs, I want to have the veins and everything else that comes with that, bitches. But what people don't seem to understand is that you have to build muscle first and then actually cut down after that. But since we're all fucked up in the head, we just want to have six-pack abs right away. Bro, you don't even deserve to have six-pack abs the first honestly 2 to 3 years of training. I know this will seem very weird and this will seem very unconventional when it comes to this because every single person that goes to the gym wants to have that lean V-taper physique, but nobody seems to want to bulk. And how do you expect to build that muscle in the first place if you're not gonna bulk, bro? And this is actually something that I did. I mean, sure, I did go on a bulk in the first year of lifting, but then after that, I decided to do a cut and then a bulk again, and I cut again after that. Honestly, what's the point of this? Since I literally built muscle and then lost muscle during that cut of however many weeks, and then I built muscle again and so on and so on. Why should you do that to yourself? When I think about the stuff that I did when it comes to the gym, I ask myself, okay, you wanted to get six-pack abs, but don't you realize if you just kept on bulking during that period, sure, you would be quote-unquote fat over the summer, but if you bulked over that long period, you would actually look better now, since when you're on a cut, there is no way on this green earth that you're going to build a good amount of muscle when you're cutting. I know this will seem very crazy to some of you, since a lot of people believe this lie of you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Sure, you can if you're an extreme beginner, so literally in the first few months of lifting, and also if you're on an anabolic steroids, but we're not gonna talk about that, as well as the muscle that you're going to build when you're main gaining or when you're in a calorie deficit is so minimal it won't even be recognizable. Like a person that goes to a gym but also is in a caloric deficit, sure, he'll look quote unquote better in a few months. But if that same person said, hey, I just want to become as jacked as humanly possible, I don't care if that happens during the next year or in 3 years' time, I don't care. I just want to become the most jacked version of myself. He would literally skip that cutting phase or whatever the fuck, and he would only bulk from that point onwards. And this is actually what I should have done. I won't be too harsh on myself since I made some relatively quote unquote normal mistakes along the way, and that's actually expected. You can't expect yourself to be perfect, and the people that do that, like the people that want to be perfect right from the beginning, they usually end up on steroids anyway. And that's why I'm actually so glad that TikTok didn't really exist when I started lifting. Like, yes, I started lifting 4 years ago and TikTok was technically a thing, but you didn't have massive amounts of young people that are on anabolic androgenic steroids. I mean, when you go to slash or hashtag gym talk or hashtag gym on TikTok, you just see these guys, these kids that are on steroids. And in my opinion, that's just retarded as fuck. Like, your body is still developing, bro. You're in puberty. You aren't even supposed to go to the gym, to be honest, and yet you're on 500 milligrams on testosterone, 300 milligrams of tren. I may as well talk about steroids, since there's at least one of you who's watching this video who has maybe been thinking to himself, I should go on steroids. I mean, I'm that one guy. Like, I actually did kind of want to do steroids when I was younger, and I'm the solution to that problem as well, since I stayed 100% natural. When it comes to steroids, you see a lot of young guys doing them, and in the vast majority of cases, those guys that are on steroids didn't do proper research, and that's the problem here. When you have knowledge and when you've extensively researched any subject, but especially steroids, you're gonna have more knowledge, and also you're gonna be more educated on that. If I started to list every single side effect that steroids can have on you, this video would probably last another 2 hours. But here we're talking about your brain health, your heart, your kidneys, your liver, etc., etc., the cosmetic side effects, the mental side effects. It is totally not worth it. But what I find funny here is we're totally fucked up in the head, every single one of us. And so when we hear something like heart failure or anything like that, we're like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, heart health, who cares? But when you mention to us, yeah, you can get acne from steroids, we're like, oh, acne, I don't want to have acne. Like, bro, if your heart fails, you're literally going to die. And if you have acne, that's like a totally benign side effect. So what's the point of this video? Go on a bulk if you're a beginner. So we're talking if you're skinny, if you're lean, if you're skinny fat, unless you're extremely fat. Like, we're talking here above 35%, above 40% body fat, you should bulk. And also, I'm gonna make a separate video for the guys that are actually skinny fat, like what's the skinny fat solution and so on. As well as, don't do anabolic steroids, or if you're gonna do, at least wait like 5 to 10 years. In my opinion, if you're younger than 25, you don't even have the right to think about doing steroids, my man. So thank you for watching. If you want to, you can watch this video, and I would highly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel here. And as always, see you at the top.